The following podcast is brought to you by the Ebb Tide Treatment Center. Many people wrestle with addiction. You don't have to. Reach out to the Ebb Tide Treatment Center, where they wish to empower each individual encountered with the support, hope, and tools required for long-term sobriety, priding themselves on providing the best possible treatment experience for you and your loved ones based on unique needs. They're committed to breaking the stigma that plagues those suffering with addiction and their families by educating and bringing awareness to the community. The Ebb Tide Treatment Center provides individual and group therapy, multiple recovery pathways for support, evidence-based clinical support, integrated aftercare social reintegration, personalized treatment planning, program addressing whole life health, and Vivitrol program, all available. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, reach out to them at ebbtidetc.com or call 844-430-4357. Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to AIW's The Card is Going to Change. Before we get this week's episode started, we, of course, always want to give the shout-out to our sponsors that help us bring this show to you for free each and every week. First, thanks to Smart Mark Video. If you would like to purchase one of our shows on DVD or the download stream on MP4, you can do so at smartmarkvideo.com as they record all of our live events and shows. Also, thank you to Angelo's Pizza for feeding us here today, and they, of course, feed every single one of you when you get their pizza, their award-winning pizza, that is, at each and every one of the AIW live events at Mount Carmel. If you'd like to go to Angelo's Pizza, they are on Madison Avenue in Lakewood. Go and try some of the deliciousness they have to offer. Along with their pizza, they've got wings, they've got pasta, really anything you could think of that's an Italian specialty. They've got it. It's delicious. Also, we want to thank Jack Prince, who handles all of our graphic design and printing needs. If you have any of those, you can design all of them through their website. You can reach out to a Jack Prince representative, and you can go to jackprince.com to take care of that.
JAKPrince.com.
Wow, that wonderful radio advertisement voice right there was none other than the Duke, everybody. He is our special guest on this episode. My name is Steve Guy, your moderator of sorts each and every week. And, of course, AIW owner John Thorne sitting here with us.
Oh, another 40-plus minutes with the Duke.
Here we go.
Back by demand. I won't say popular demand. I'll just say demand.
A small demand.
Since Chandler Biggins has been gone, we've kind of had the revolving door chair here, and we have likened it to SNL. The Tonight Show, when Johnny Carson would have substitutes. Do you have like a favorite person in mind that you would make the Duke, John Thorne?
You can call me Jay Leno because I'm getting a job. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying.
Would he be like the Joan Rivers? Maybe like people don't watch him as much. Is that what you?
Oh, he would definitely be like.
I feel like people.
I'm like Gary Shandling back in the day, the most popular guest host from like the '80s.
Is that what you are? The most popular one?
Yeah, come on.
I mean, I'm not too familiar with Tonight Show guest hosts, but I'm trying to think of like what the most failed late night show of
Chevy
all time
Chase, if you're going to go with that.
Oh yeah.
He had a show for like 3 weeks.
I don't know if I want to compare you to Chevy Chase. You'd like that too much.
Well, back when he was on coke, he was hilarious, and I've never done coke, so I don't really know how that whole thing works.
That was a great movie.
Yeah.
Well, you should have been with us last week. I co-hosted Plenty of Coke.
Well, yeah, he's been plenty of a lot of things that I really want no part of.
Like the thing he ended the episode on.
As I believe I texted you earlier today, there isn't enough penicillin in the world to follow him in any endeavor.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you there. That's probably the only thing we'll agree on in this whole episode.
Hey, that's fine. Starting off hot.
There we go. On today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about the AIW show that happened at Tequila Jackson Manor on the Lake, House of the Rising Sun, which saw Jimmy Rave make his appearance here at AIW. The show kind of obviously named after his theme song coming out there. Before we get into everything, though, it is, of course, as I said last week, it's the month of May, just a couple weeks out from J-Lit. It's the JT Lightning Invitational Tournament. every year held by AIW. It is on May 26th and 27th, so it's a 2-day event for you. There's actually 3 shows. You have the J-Lit, both Friday and Saturday, and in between that, Saturday afternoon, is the Back to the Future Cup.
And before that,
yes,
there
sir.
is on Saturday morning they will be filming for the
yes.
for the new movie Powerbomb.
That's right.
And it is only fitting that we have a movie star with us today, the Duke.
Oh, we're gonna rehash that. I have a question. Am I in the am I booked for Back to the Future Cup?
No, you're
usually the students and those who are on the.
You gotta wait till we
I'm
start,
not the future. Come on, what are you talking about?
You gotta wait till we start doing like the senior circuit.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's fine. All right.
He would be like Back to the Future 3, where they go into like
In the Wild West, exactly. Yeah.
You go that far back.
Which I never saw, but if I'm not mistaken, that is one of Biggins' favorite, if not his favorite trilogy.
It is his favorite
Maybe next to
trilogy.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, that's
It was.
I think both great.
It was Fast and the Furious till they made too many of those.
Well, that's an A to G now. That's not a trilogy.
Yeah,
So
Fate of the Furious, as it were.
Back to the Future is his favorite trilogy. That is why it is the Back to the Future Cup, because I allowed him to name this show.
That Duke, maybe you go there because it's a lot of the younger guys, and now
well, it's like old Biff when he shows up. You know, that's
Yeah.
kind of that's
Oh,
kind of
yeah,
There we
okay.
go. Yeah.
I could get
That's Back to
behind
the
calling you
Future
Old
too.
Biff.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you can.
That's a new gimmick right there. Forget the Duke. You're Old Biff.
I
Old
don't know
Biff.
about that.
Old Biff.
Old
Yeah,
Biff.
they
Why
will.
don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
They are. They are going to be.
Leaf, Biff.
They are going to be filming a. They're going to be filming parts of a movie during J-Lit weekend. I'm not too sure how much the AIW fans will be involved or not, but that's why I wanted to have the Duke on. Nice little segue, because that's how he got into the wrestling business.
We've already discussed this. We don't need to rehash this again. That is not
Still waiting for that movie to come out. Nearly 20 years later.
As I've said, I have a trailer. It is on one of my old computers at home. I am not releasing it because I will not give you the satisfaction to know that it actually exists.
Don't
I'm
give me the
just telling you.
satisfaction. Give it to the people.
The people, I give nothing to the people. They don't deserve anything. I'm not giving them squat.
The people do not like. There's a grouping. There's a demographic of people that really don't like you. But we'll get in that in a later episode. Your wrestling career has kind of taken on different levels. At this point in AIW, you're like more the manager, and everybody hates you for that. From Eddie Kingston to BJ Whitmer, and now Mike Tolar is in your corner. But what about, remember when you were with Eddie Kingston and Terry Funk came to town?
Oh, yeah. Well,
Was that
how could I forget when Terry Funk came to
about
town?
the last time you were on the podcast?
It was not.
I don't think we got into the Duke's career at all.
No,
the
not
last
at
time
all.
on the podcast.
There was so much backstory to have fun with.
Yeah, that was more of the Duke
the
origin
Duke
story.
origin story.
Yeah.
You were the original origin story, I think. Actually.
Exactly. It's part of the Marvel universe, if you will. But so the Terry Funk thing, I knew that Thorne and Biggins, I don't know who was probably Thorne was responsible for it, but I knew he was booked. Obviously, he told me. Little insider scoop. Thorne actually texts me guys he wants to book, and he asks me what I think. So
Well,
he doesn't hate me as much as you might think he does.
That's because I know if things go south, you got the money to cover them.
8 minutes into the show, Duke putting himself over finally.
Hey man, so
I'm shocked it took 8 minutes for him to put himself over.
I don't usually go more than 5. So
There were advertisements.
yeah, so Funk is coming to town, and I don't think I knew what he was doing. I don't think anybody knew what he was going to do. He was just going to do like a signing or whatever else. And then I
don't
think
he knew what he was doing.
I don't think he wanted to do
He
anything.
initially said nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing, yeah.
And I think you texted me either the day of or the day before. And you're like, do you want to do something with Terry Funk? And I'm like, yeah, of course.
Well, 'cause I'll give you a little backstory on that. So Terry Funk flew in and forgot his cell phone. He calls. He must have had my phone number written down on a piece of paper.
Sure.
Borrows somebody's cell phone at the airport. Calls me. I am actually unavailable to pick him up. Chandler was supposed to pick him up because I was at a political fundraiser for some real life activities.
Mover and a shaker.
Wow.
I was rubbing some elbows with some high end political figures.
Greasing some palms.
And I couldn't, and it was an open bar on top of that. So
Now we get the real story.
What is it, Mahal's?
No, that is not an open bar. This was an open bar. And so Chandler's supposed to pick him up, and then I got this random person calling me from the airport saying Terry Funk needs a ride. I'm trying to coordinate that. Well, Chandler finally gets him, and he says, Terry, I'm going to take you out somewhere really nice, wherever you want to go, take you to dinner. Terry Funk goes, well, I want to go to IHOP. And he didn't want a steak, I want to go to IHOP. That was the nice restaurant for Terry Funk. So anyway, I take an Uber, and I go right to the IHOP from this political function. And I'm just drunk as fuck with Terry Funk. And we start talking to him about his career. And we go, Terry, I know you don't want to do anything physical, but, I mean, what if you did something tomorrow? And he's like, well, what do you got? And I was like, we got this fucking asshole, the Duke.
Somehow it tells me I don't think it was worded exactly that way.
I think it was probably pretty close.
And Chandler
It might have been close, but it wasn't.
And Chandler goes,
Oh, don't steal my thunder about what Chandler wanted him to do.
this is part of the pitch. Chandler goes, Terry, the one thing I want to see in my life is I want to see you bag the Duke. And Terry's like, what do you mean bag the Duke? He's like when you put the plastic bag over Flair, like.
That's all he wanted. That's all he kept saying to me that night is he's going to bag you. We're going to get a bag and he's going to bag you.
And Terry's like, oh, yeah? And he's like, oh, all right, I'll do that, So Chandler shows up to the show, and he has no less than 8 grocery bags in his pocket.
Happiest I've ever seen him in his life, by the way.
He just has plastic bags falling out of every pocket he's got.
You couldn't have knocked his smile off with a rocket. He was like so excited. And so I come in, and he had texted me earlier in the day, and he's like, do you want to do something with Terry? Or Terry wants to do something. Are you down with whatever he wants to do? I'm like, fuck yeah, of course, absolutely. It's the fucking Terry Funk. So I get there, and I introduce myself to him. The softest spoken guy. I mean, you can barely even understand him when he talks because he talks so lightly. Hey, how you doing? And not what you expect, after you see him for years wrestling and you see him doing movies and shit like that.
He's such an old man at this point, too.
Completely. Yeah, I know. But so I'm like, how you doing,
Same
Terry
age
Funk?
group as Duke.
That's
and
That's why we figured he'd be okay.
And what we're gonna play shuffleboard? Is that what we're gonna do? And so Thorne,
you guys are peers.
Thorne goes, this is the guy that we want you to do something with, and he's like, okay. And so then, like in the back, I can hear Biggins going, we gotta bag him. You gotta bag him. That's all he kept saying.
He just kept trying to give Terry a plastic bag.
And so we go downstairs, and the match is Josh versus Eddie. And myself, obviously, in Eddie's corner. And it's the whole setup is just supposed to be, this is all that we talked about downstairs, was 4 rights and a left. That was all it was. He's like, I'm going to come out, bip, 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 hit you with the big left, and chase off Eddie and celebrate with Josh, or distract Eddie, Josh pins Eddie, and celebrate. Yeah. And
in between that, I said, hey, Terry, you want a beer?
Wait, hold on. This is before that. This is before that. So we're downstairs, and Josh and myself and Eddie are talking, and absolutely zero disrespect intended, but it was like talking to a chair. It like you were talking right through him. Like it didn't seem like it was registering what we were asking him to do.
Yeah. He already knew what he was going to do.
And we had to tell him, like, I don't think so. I don't think he did.
I don't think he felt it until the moment.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in a second. But so we're just like explaining it to him, and 5 minutes later we explained it to him again, and he would just be like, okay, so what am I doing? And I'm looking at Josh, and I'm like, I don't think he's going to get this. I think this is going to get fucked up. And so I'm starting to get a little worried. Eddie doesn't care. Eddie's doing his thing. And so it's like, okay. So then we're downstairs. We're talking about the match. That's when the beer fairy shows up.
Terry, you want a beer? And he goes, I can have a beer? And I said, yeah, have 2. And then we just start pounding beers.
So
2 turned into...
Yeah. So
2 turned into...
Not too many.
6 or 7 real quick.
Terry goes up to Gorilla.
And then he tells me, and he goes, he tells me, and he goes, hey, you're going to have to tell me when to go. I said, okay. So I go over to Gorilla with him, and I set a beer down, and I look out of my like peripheral vision, and I see my beer going. And Terry, like a little kid, is stealing my beer and smiling at me, and then just chugs it.
So he's at Gorilla. We're talking about the match. I don't remember if we were first after intermission or not. I can't remember. But we go up there. And we're getting ready, and Terry comes into that little like vestibule area with the stairs or whatever.
Yeah.
And he almost gets in Eddie and I's face, almost. And he's well on his way already. And he goes, if you son of a, I don't know if he said motherfuckers or son of a bitches. I don't know. He said, if you guys don't get any heat, I'm not coming out. He goes, you better get some fucking heat out there, or I'm not coming out. Forget it. I'm not doing this just for fucking a show. He goes, you guys better make me come out there. So in my head, I'm like, okay. So we got all the shit. End of the match is basically Josh gets shit canned, and I just start wailing on him. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking I gotta make sure I get fucking heat. So I'm like turning up to like 12 on what I'm doing. Normally I wouldn't do that, but
everybody really hate the Duke.
I'm trying to
as if it was that hard.
Yeah,
right.
I'm trying to beat the crap out of Josh, to make it look good. And I'm throwing him in the rails. I'm doing whatever. And the cue is, I hold him with my back to this is before we had the ramp, I believe.
Yeah.
I hold him with my back to the curtain. Eddie's going to punch him. Terry comes out, saves the day. So we get to the spot, and I've got Josh. I'm, chicken winging Josh, and Eddie's about to hit him. And all I hear Eddie say is, he's got a chair. I hear the pop. I hear the pop for Terry.
Guilty.
I hear the pop for Terry, and I hear he's got a chair. So I turn around like a good, professional. I turn around and just wham, chair right in the face. And he didn't hit you with it. He threw it at me, which is fine. I'd rather have that, quite frankly. So he throws the chair at me. He's working on Eddie. I see Eddie go down, so I get up. If you could have seen, I don't know, maybe the best way to equate it is when you have like a trained animal and is just kind of sitting there, and you give it the word you're not supposed to give it to where it flips and goes crazy.
Sure.
That, from the look he had on his face downstairs, was like
when you say you want to go for a walk,
Grandpa Terry, just kind of hanging out. When he came up and I stood up and looked at him, he had his look on his face like he was in Tokyo in 1977, ready to get it on. And I'm just like, oh, in my head, I'm like, oh shit. So, to, I guess, his credit, 4 rights and a left. Two of them were shoot, 2 of them weren't. And then he hits me with the left. I go down. So I'm laying there. Eddie gets up. He gives Eddie a DDT for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
And then he starts kicking me. He starts kicking me. He's like, get up, you son of a bitch, get up. So I'm like, all right. So I get up. He grabs me by the fucking pants.
This is where he goes into business for himself.
Yeah, this is what Terry Funk opens up his own whoop ass store. Fucking throws me over the concession stand. The place is going fucking nuts.
Oh, they're loving it.
Oh, he throws me over the concession stand.
His.
First thing he does after I hit the ground is he grabs the bucket with the waters in it and just dumps it on top of me. Throws all the chips on me. I can hear Biggins because Biggins has moved over.
Bag 'em!
Yeah,
Bag 'em!
over to the concession stand. He's saying bag 'em.
If there's like video, like cell phone footage,
yeah.
And Biggins is pulling bags out of his pocket.
Yeah, I think he had one in his hand at one point. And I'm laying. You can see me on the DVD.
He just wanted to see the Duke just like grasping for
fucking
his
like
last
Total
breath.
Recall with my eyes popping out and I'm out of breath, But I'm laying against one of the garbage cans, or the beer cooler, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was beer cooler.
With my eyes open, selling but looking at Terry, going, "Don't grab the hot dogs and don't grab the nachos.
It's gonna burn your face."
Yeah, because at that point I'm not selling anymore. So Nick Sanka gives him a chair. to use at me. He throws the chair at Nick Sanka.
And he's not a wrestler. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Bartender Nick Sanka.
So then he picks up the garbage can and dumps the garbage can on me and throws the can on top of me. It bounces off my head. I'm just like laying there like, oh, fuck. And I'm worried about what he's going to do. I'm trying not to smile because it's fucking awesome. And, you know, and then he peels off and goes and gets Eddie, does something to Eddie. At this point, I stand up and I'm like stumbling to the back. I see him out of the corner of my eye holding a chair. He had just done something to Eddie. I'm like, all right, might as well take one more. And I just peeled around and stumbled in front of him, and he throws the chair at me again. I take one more fucking bump, and then I fucking go to the back. And then he goes and celebrates with Josh. It was fucking the coolest thing and the most unbelievable thing. And then we go downstairs. And he comes down. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, that was amazing!" And he comes down. And he's like, "Is everything okay? You okay?" I'm like, "Terry, that was great. I can't thank you enough." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just got a little crazy." I'm like, "No, man, everything was fantastic. It was cool as fuck." But yeah, it was so. The coolest thing about that was just watching the transformation of him going from docile,
frail,
regular Terry Funk to just unbelievable ass-kicking,
the Texas Bronco,
world's most dangerous man, from the 70s. It was so cool. It was so cool.
Well, so that was in October 2015. What's that? Big Trouble in
Little Cleveland, yeah.
Little Cleveland. And so that was October 2015. Fast forward to the Duke's
was
AIW
it 15
career.
or 16?
It's 15.
15, yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's all blending together now.
Fast forward to early April 2017, and there's the Duke at House of the Rising Sun in a match with someone who has been deemed the worst professional wrestler on this show once before, I think.
Oh, he's from the crowd. He's one of the people.
That's what
teaching him lessons. That's what I was doing.
I'm just saying what was said on this show. But then he has a match with Kurt Hurtz.
And I made him look like a star because that's what I do.
His AIW debut.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about that is that
the show was selling bad. So I said, Kurt, do you think you could get a couple people out there?
The Duke will take on any role you ask him to. That's why he's.
That's very true, and I thank you for recognizing that and finally saying it out loud.
That was a compliment.
It is a compliment. That's what you need, a utility guy. Every baseball team has a utility guy. Every football team.
You're no Jose Ramirez.
I'm the utility guy. Anything you need, I fucking do it. You get thrown in the concession stand, I'll do it. Wrestle the worst student, I'll do it.
That's why. That's why you're kind of like the Gary Shandling.
Exactly.
Gary, just listen to this guy put himself over.
Gary Shandling.
Somebody's got to put me over, you fucks.
Listen to this guy.
You did get put over last week's episode by Worldwide.
Oh, good. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you're only a week late. So, House of the Rising Sun, you had the match with. How was that match with?
It was fine. I mean, it was fine. The thing that was funny about it was. And this happens all the time, and everybody that does this knows this. It was his first match. So Thorne told me a couple of days before, maybe a week, he's like, "You're going to wrestle Kurt." I'm like, "Oh, that's fine, whatever." And I and knew what his gimmick was and what he did, so I'm like, okay.
Smaller federations around the area.
But I knew what his gimmick was, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Didn't have to, not going to set the world on fire, but get in, get out, let him do some shit, get him over.
Has the Duke ever set the world on fire?
No. Once. So anyway, but that's also because I know my role. See, that's what I do.
Oh. Okay.
So anyway, I get there, and it was it April?
Yeah.
So I had to work. So I was at work all day, and so I jump in the car and I drive to the show.
Acting?
No, CPAing. And
I wasn't sure if you had another role.
Tax season, baby.
No. So I get there, and I knew it was his first match on the show, so I knew he was going to be nervous. So anytime that happens, you play, how long can you make the guy wait before you talk to him about what you want to do? And so I'm just like walking around backstage, and he's literally like a puppy following me around.
That veteran weight.
He's following me around. I'm like, all right, let me get dressed. So I'm like talking to people. I'm putting my boots on and everything else, and he's just standing there. He's like swaying back and forth like he's got ADD or something like that. And so and then the best part is we sit down. They're like, okay, you're not getting anything. So it's just like, I'm gonna beat you up for about 5 minutes. Here's 2 spots you can do, and then that'll be it. And then we'll go home and whatever. So he's like, okay. I'm like, do you have any people here? He's like, yeah, I got some. I'm like, okay, I'll give you a couple things, and whatever.
Fucking, he better. You better have some people in the crowd.
We needed it. John, one of the first somber kind of episodes we had. So
this was a depressing night for me.
This was that show in which you came back on the podcast and said, look, guys, I don't know where we're at, because this show got thrown in the middle of, we had gone for the gold.
And if you listen to last week and you listen to the financial situation of what was happening, this really threw fuel on the fire of my pro wrestling depression.
The week right after Gauntlet for the Gold, we head down to Orlando, Florida. We got WrestleCon going and everything that week. Then we come back, and then that very next weekend is this House of the Rising Sun show. Not a lot of time in between to figure everything out.
Yeah, I mean, this show kind of fell victim to just everything going on. Not a lot of promotion.
Plus, it was like the first... I mean, there wasn't a lot of people there, but it's a bar show. There was always a crapshoot. B, it was like the first fucking nice day. That's when all the douchebags got out on their motorcycles, and everybody gets to the patio to have a beer. Because it's not going to be sunny, another day for the next year, so we all got to hurry up and cram everything in that fucking day. That's what everybody in this goddamn city does as soon as it turns nice out. And so everybody
putting the bootcut jeans back in the dresser, busting out some shorts.
I'll wear my bootcut jeans if I want. I also have regular jeans. I have all sorts of jeans.
Plenty of different jeans.
I don't have mom jeans though. That's the only kind I don't have.
You call them jeans or denim?
You don't have dad jeans like New Kenny.
No, I do not. I call them jeans. Why would I call them denim?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't call a shirt cotton.
Some people call them denim. I don't know.
Is this some new weird hipster lingo, Steve guy, with your tiny suits and your skinny suits that you wear?
Denim?
No, I've never heard that.
Denim? What? You've never heard denim, like a denim jacket?
It's not a denim. It's a denim jacket. You don't say denim pants. You say jeans.
You could say some people say jean jacket.
Where do you find this fucking guy?
Hey man, they find me just like you.
Jesus, you found me.
I didn't find you.
I remember back in 2005, somebody called me.
I didn't call you.
Well, somebody did. I didn't make any fucking phone calls.
It certainly wasn't me.
To give you guys a quick rundown of the show, check it out. There were a lot of younger guys that were giving their start to. Oh, this was Kaplan was potentially his last show.
The Kaplan Swan song.
Kaplan was trying to kill himself on his way out with his split-legged death drop.
Yeah, we saw the debut of one of AIW's newest students, Trey Lamar. He took on Kaplan, and Kaplan balls
which was
Ricochet?
Yes.
Which was booked
10 minutes before the show started?
Yeah, because Kaplan said his last show was at Gauntlet for the Gold because he got this job where he was going to be a traveling pavement worker, traveling the country, fixing the roads of America.
That sounds more bootleg than what Worldwide does for a living, which is
But they told him that he had to he had to lose X amount of weight or else they wouldn't accept him on that.
They couldn't afford to travel him because he weighed too much.
It's insurance, man.
They wanted all their road crew to look a certain part. And he had to shave his facial hair.
Is he getting a job with Thunder Down Under or what? What the hell?
Somehow he got into a business that cares even more about looks than wrestling.
I guess.
So then when I get to the venue, Kaplan's there. I go, Kaplan, we have like a student chat group. You did not say you're going to be here. He goes, oh, well, I don't. And like he looked all weird because he had to shave all his facial hair off. And I said, well, do you want to wrestle since this is going to be for sure the last time you're on? He goes, well, yeah, I was thinking about telling you I was going to be here, but I just forgot. And I was like, I looked around and I saw Trey, and I said, Trey, you got gear? And he said, yep. I said, go put it on. You're wrestling Kaplan in 10 minutes.
And that's exactly what happened.
And Kaplan went out there, and he just tried to kill himself as many times as he could.
Tried to kill Trey first, then he tried to kill himself.
And then he got drunk afterwards, which is the Kaplan thing to do.
Well, that's pretty much the flow chart of Kaplan.
The highlight of that show.
Kill somebody, kill myself.
Yeah,
drink.
Try to kill someone. If you fail, kill yourself. If you fail, get drunk.
He always has a rough time with that tequila jacks. Like when
God bless Kaplan,
Carson.
man. He always goes out and he gives 110%.
He really does.
Unlike the Duke, who's probably never given 10%.
Yet I've been working for 13 years, so whatever.
Well, that's because you only gave less than 10% each time.
Smart. Saving my body.
There's so many questions for the Duke, so I'm just going to run down the card here real quick. You can buy it from Smart Mark Video, folks. Colby Red and Derek Direction had a match. Duke and Kurt Hurtz.
Colby Red is another prospect coming out of the AIW school.
Colby Red got booked again I believe that was an absolute opportunity match,
Yes,
if I'm not
it
mistaken.
was.
I don't see Derek Direction on the show, but I see Colby Red on the show. So you make of that what you will.
For Back to the Future Cup. Is
Exactly.
what you were referencing.
Well, that's because he won.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Derek didn't
I
win.
didn't want to.
Yes.
Spoiler.
Derek didn't get the job done.
Spoiler
There you
alert.
go. The Young Studs
The reunion.
had their return. The reunion was there. Bobby Beverly, fresh off that gauntlet for the gold return, and Eric Ryan were there taking on Dr. Dan and Brian Carson.
Not a lot of chemistry in that match.
Ooh,
No. I actually commentated that match,
Yeah.
and I would agree with you. It
How was
was, in a word,
Matthew.
awkward.
That one's for Matthew. Have a blast with that one, Matthew. That's why we do these shows. These
You
bar
want the
shows.
kinks out. These are like C-level house shows, you know.
sure. We did have a inter-promotional championship match.
Yes, the from Alpha 1, Shane Sabre versus Kobe Durst. Those guys went balls to the fucking
They
wall.
did. They did
did.
everything humanly possible in front of about 40 people.
Hey, about 70, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we're always honest on this podcast.
That's honest.
Yeah, I think
Oh
there was
my
about 70
God.
people there.
We covered we couldn't have covered the bills with 40. We covered the bills. Barely.
All right. We'll see. But yeah, no, they went nuts.
Mr.
was-
Accountant.
Alpha Male Championship. Those guys were here, there, and everywhere during the course of that match. Gary the King Baller with Frankie Flynn, Jonathna, Wolfe, Malcolm Monroe III.
Yeah, that's another, that was another really good match that I think would fly under the radar to most people. But, Malcolm Monroe III and Jonathna Wolfe are two prospects. Malcolm Monroe out of Detroit. Jonathna Wolfe is out of the Indiana area. Just two guys that, had been being recommended to us. I actually saw Malcolm Monroe III on a Mega Championship Wrestling show, and I said, I just kind of, that was months ago, and I just kind of took a mental note of that and we knew that we wanted to use other people for the Back to the Future Cup this year other than just our students. So that was kind of like, hey, let's get these guys out here and see what they can do sort of thing, and kind of like a live tryout, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think the DVD audience will appreciate that match more than the live crowd. The live crowd,
Probably more people will see
there was
it.
a lot going on, and I don't know, they didn't react. It's a shame they didn't react to a lot of the stuff that those guys were doing, and those guys were going like crazy.
Well, that's because they were just burned themselves out watching you.
They actually fucking love me. I will say I got the best reaction of the night out of anybody. So suck a
Listen,
dick.
I think they,
so,
were, I
yeah.
think they were distracted by the Card is Going to Change trivia that we did that night, and we gave away
Free drinks.
free drinks.
We
Power
did
bombs.
give away free drink. Well, we didn't. I did not give away
I
any free
did.
drink. I had one of the free drinks. I did
There
not give
you
any
go.
away. So yeah.
Talking about guys making the return like we did last show. PB Smooth took on Matthew Justice. That was his first singles match back in AIW in 9 years after Gauntlet for the Gold. And then from there, the Weird World took on some more guys that we kind of brought over in Philly Collins and Marino Tenaglia.
Yeah.
The Philly and Marino experience,
And I
which is an experience. If you haven't seen those two live, it is an experience.
Those guys are an experience. I like those guys a lot. They're some good dudes, and I believe the Weird World have compared this match to a Rock and Roll Express versus Midnight Express
Oh, really?
caliber
Like,
matchup.
if they wrestled today. I mean, I commentated that match also, and it was good. I mean, Philly Collins is one of the weirdest dudes because he's just he's got this long stringy hair and he's just
Yeah.
covered in body hair.
The girls love
And
him.
He's
They
got
do.
the headband. He, as I said on commentary, he looks like he just stepped off of the set of Perfect, that aerobics movie with
I thought
Jamie
you
Lee
were gonna
Curtis
say
from the 80s.
The Olivia Newton-John video.
Well, either one, but yeah.
The ladies love Philly Collins.
I'm not saying they don't. I mean, apparently
Does it
they
depress
like.
you?
Does it depress me? No, it depresses me when ladies like you, because you're such a fucking disaster. But
I am not a disaster.
I
I'm
know
you are
Philly
an
Collins
absolute
isn't a disaster.
What's that?
How do you know Philly Collins isn't a disaster?
Because Philly Collins is just he's just Philly Collins. He's just harmless.
Got it more together than
he's harmless.
I am a charming young man.
You are a disaster.
Ladies out there, tweet the Duke how charming I am.
You should have FEMA tents all around you because you are a walking disaster.
What is your Twitter handle? It's not the Duke.
Yeah, it is. It's
There's like a number.
The Duke 1279.
Oh yeah.
Gonna bleep that.
And there
out.
might be an underscore in there somewhere. I'm not sure.
What's that? What do those numbers stand for?
1279 is
the year he was born.
No. 79 was my high school football number, and 12 was my father's number at softball, and he passed away 23 years ago, and I switched to that number when he passed away. So I wear 12 now, and so that's 1279.
Big meaning.
The Duke still competes, folks. 79 still holding on to that high school football.
Well, it's just for fucking like Twitter handle. It's not
the Duke was taken.
It was actually.
Oh man,
I was not happy. Yeah.
Oh, we'll get into more of that, I guess. In
ladies,
a second.
make sure you hit up the Duke 1279 and let them know what a charming young man.
2 words, ladies. 6 figures. Hit me up. There you go.
Don't care about that.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, some of them do.
I own a whole corporation
that goes bankrupt every other day. So what are you hanging your hat on that for?
2 words, 5 zeros.
Girls love that I am I'm a starving artist using a creative outlet.
The namesake of that show, Jimmy Rave.
I am a charming man.
Took on Dominic Garrini, the boat collector. Dom getting another opportunity here in AIW, just continuing to make a name for himself.
The Duke is very upset about my luck with the ladies.
More on that in a moment.
Luck is a good word for it.
And then just to finish off that card, the Intense title, Alex Daniels with Greg Iron, of course, in his corner, taking on Space Monkey. That was kind of a fun little main event for Tequila Jacks. Yeah, people always love the Space Monkey.
Space Monkey is over.
Space Monkey is over. Anybody that would bring
fucking
get people to bring bananas to a wrestling show is pretty over.
They do it. So we got through that card a little bit. Why?
I mean, I honestly think people need to pick it up on DVD.
They do.
It's different than your normal AIW show. You get to see some new guys.
It's fun. It's looser. It's like you said, there's guys you might not see on a regular show, and you might go, oh, like PME. Oh wow, they're actually fun to watch. Maybe you'll go to where they're at or something like that.
Yeah, because I mean,
Marino is booked in the Back to the Future Cup.
Yeah, actually takes on Colby,
and so is Philly Collins.
I didn't want to spoil it because I don't think it has been announced yet, so I wasn't sure.
By the time this comes out.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
It's Colby Red taking on Marino Tenaglia.
And PB Smooth against Philly Collins.
There you go. But this is so. I mean, if you listen to the show a few weeks ago, or actually probably about a month or so ago at this point, when John did talk about House of the Rising Sun, and that was a very somber podcast. Really, folks, that spoke to our live turnout. But as we say, sometimes things come out different for a live crowd than they do for the DVD crowd. It is still definitely worth the watch.
But to everybody's credit, even though that what you just said is true, everybody still went out there, with the exception of the Young Studs and Dr. Dan and Brian Carson, had put on good matches, worked hard, did what they do best, and so it's not like it's
even
it's
that
not
match,
a joke, it's not a letdout, it's not
even that match.
I know,
it just didn't click.
I'm just busting their shit. I mean, of course, but you get the experience of seeing people that you don't normally see, and they still worked hard, and it's still fun, and I mean, shit. What are they? Fucking $10? $20 on Smart Mark.
Oh, for those?
Yeah,
like $11.
Yeah. So what the fuck?
Hey everybody, Alex Worldwide Keller here, telling you all about Thrift Store Jobber on Instagram. The Thrift Store Jobber, he goes from town to town, he makes those towns, and let me tell you what he does. He finds the freshest, sickest, most just out of control, old school wrestling merch that you can find, and he found a humdinger today. He got a Bret the Hitman Hart hockey jersey straight out of WCW. Looks about $2,000 by the logo. $70 make you look like $10,000 or whatever that Lloyd's of London payout was. Says number 2 on the back, but Bret Hart, you're always number 1 with me. Worldwide.
Duke, true, false, since you're here with us a week later and we talked about it, you offered to help out AIW financially only if we would book the Duke World Order.
True. Actually, hold on. That's not entirely true. I did say that. I did say because
he had a couple stips.
He sends me the picture of. He knows I'm a huge Scott Norton mark. I've always liked Scott Norton's work. I think he's a cool dude. I
Would
think
you
he's
put him
badass.
on your softball team?
Fuck yeah. Duke could probably bomb.
In the senior league?
No. I don't play in the senior league. So let me get this out.
Sorry. Okay.
Don't you fucking turn on me too, you dick. So, all right. So
Lashing out.
he sends me the picture of
Still charming.
because we had talked about Scott Norton, and the next day, this is what happens with Thorne's text. We'll talk about somebody, and then he'll just send me a picture of the guy, and I'm like, oh, is it a done deal? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So that's what I get in my text. I get a picture of Scott Norton, and he's wearing an NWO shirt, and I'm like, you got to let me manage him, you know, and. I'm like, we'll start the DWO, Duke World Order, and, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That was just a goof, but had he said yes, I would have ran with it. But to your question, me offering help because of the potential issues was not contingent upon that. I offered the help.
Deal with the devil.
I offered the help to help. The Scott Norton thing was just me being
You
stupid.
had some stipulations, though, that we will not.
Were they business stipulations?
I want to go to the final.
Oh, I want to go. Yeah, that was it. I wanted to go. I wanted to be the last because nobody would have expected it. But again, to my point of what I'm talking about, had he needed the help and he said no, I wouldn't have taken the money back because I'm not an asshole.
He is wealthy and caring, ladies.
I'm a philanthropist, is what I am. That's what I fucking am.
Repackaging the Duke.
The philanthropist of the Duke. Yeah, we need to repackage this.
That'll be a babyface run for you.
I can't be a babyface in this fucking company anymore.
The Duke.
I'm the only one that people actually hate.
The Duke 1279 on the Twitter.
People say you can't be a true heel anymore in this business.
Oh, you absolutely.
Right fucking here, dude.
The one thing I didn't mention from the House of the Rising Sun, one big great thing that did come out of there, shout out to Rick Nelson.
I was just going to say,
who has
shout
been
out to
our
Rick
hookup
Nelson.
ever since.
Rick Nelson showed up with
He's the one who was feeding
Was he the one with the red monsters or the red Mountain Dews or whatever it was?
Yeah.
All right. Monsters and monster mutants.
I stole monsters from him at Gauntlet.
I think he bought you a shot.
Yeah. Oh no, I stole them
me
at
a shot, bought
the next episode. He had like a four pack of red, and I gave you one because again,
those were for me.
Again, well, he's like, where are my red monsters? I'm like, oh, I got one. Do you want one? Philanthropist. I handed him a red
where
monster.
are my red monsters? As the Duke was drinking.
Oh, all I heard was where are the red monsters? That's all I heard.
They were for me.
And I said, oh, do you want one? Philanthropist.
Yeah.
If they were for me and he had them,
Philanthropist
he would have said they never showed up. I don't know what happened to them. I have no idea.
Pete was sucking them down. He was 2 ultra reds deep.
I had one.
Duke, what is your Tinder profile age range set at?
I don't have a Tinder profile. Ironically enough, I don't.
I mean, maybe that's where you're lacking, my man.
Maybe, I don't know. To me, that's like the last frontier of. If I had one, the headline would be, "I give up." Call me or whatever.
The next like after these guys are done making this power bomb movie or whatever.
Shout out to BJ and Zach. Yeah.
Shout out to Sickening Pictures.
This is going to be a great pitch, by the way.
I'm going to pitch that the Duke and I, we do something like
Buddy Cop.
No, not a buddy cop. Something like
I have an idea for me and Hornswoggle.
Something like that. Something like that movie Hitch, where like I teach the Duke how to pick up girls.
How to pick up girls?
Oh Jesus Christ!
How to score with the ladies. How to make them love you.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
Hey, dude.
Apparently you're not. You're getting. I mean.
What?
Getting hot over here. Well, listen, ladies.
It's warm in here. It's warm in here.
6 figures, 5 zeros.
That's all you got to know, ladies.
Follow
6
the
figures.
Duke 1279. He's a philanthropist.
I still think
I am a philanthropist.
What's the youngest you would go?
18.
18. What did you even have to ask
18
that?
with an attitude?
The court says I can go with 18. I'm going with 18.
Would you just be a sugar daddy, straight up sugar daddy?
No.
There's a social.
You're a
There's a social
philanthropist.
network.
Oh,
for
I'm
that.
aware. I'm aware. I saw it on some fucking news program. I'm aware.
You're a philanthropist.
I mean,
though.
all you're
That's
talking about.
charitable. That's not.
You're talking about your 6 figures. What's
If I'm giving a chick money,
What's a
there's
couple
got
pairs of shoes?
there's got to be an exchange rate here. There's got
Oh,
I got to go to the conversion chart.
You wouldn't be sugar daddy.
Everything is taking a girl out to dinner and spending money on her. It's the same fucking thing.
I don't take girls to dinner.
Well, that's because you're so charming. They just take their pants off when they walk in.
They clean his apartment too.
Yeah, I know.
When's
I know.
the last time a girl cleaned your place?
I clean my own apartment because
Is
I'm a
the condo-
grown-ass man.
is the
Just like I
condo-
don't throw up at fucking Orlando Disney World or whatever.
There's a-
Because I'm a grown-ass man.
Minions Mayhem was a tough day for me.
Yeah, I know.
There's a rumor that the condo might be up for sale. The Duke.
Yeah. Well,
You want
I
to pitch that on the card is going to change. If any AIW super fans want to live in the home previously resided in by the Duke,
I will. I might not sell it because I couldn't. I can't.
He's trying. He's trying
Not
to.
to get into real estate values, but I can't recover what I actually paid for
He's
it.
trying to-
so I might rent it out.
He's trying to up his bachelor game and get to a higher price penthouse.
I'm thinking about moving into Crocker Park, which means nothing to anyone on this that's listening to this podcast.
that's
but
fine. Worldwide
Hyatt-
throws out Street Nick. So
Yeah. Well, what if the Weird World rented your?
The Real World could have bought the condo next to me because it was sold in an estate sale for like $15,000, and I know the Real World could have afforded that.
oh man, that would have been
I don't
great.
know, man. I saw them having a big argument over their payoffs recently.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you
Oh,
pay
yeah.
one more than the other?
No,
They almost broke up.
the Weird World almost broke up. They're over being cast in movie roles.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. A little dissension.
dissension
little barbershop
amongst them.
window going on.
Dissension amongst them.
Well,
The Weird World undefeated at Tequila Jacks, by the way. That is like
that's like their.
I lost to him.
that's their
I lost to
Undertaker
him.
streak.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. Well, I am a little bit of ashamed.
I
to
think they're
admit
gonna have. I think they're gonna have fucking can't beat the streak shirts at June 10th, Night of the Creeps.
Tequila Jacks.
it. Hey, I've got good news for you.
What's that?
I can't make that show.
Oh, really? You were booked.
I can't make it.
You were in the main event.
Well, maybe I can if I'm in the main event. I am booked somewhere else, but I gotta see if I can double shot. If that's the case, but normally I go on first, so I just assumed I couldn't make it.
in the main event than breathe.
Anything else as we wrap this up here, gentlemen? John just did say the Night of the Creeps. We're back at Tequila Jacks on June the 10th, so a couple weeks after J-Lit on May 26th and 27th.
Duke, are we
Join us
gonna
out there.
are we gonna finally expose the great Canadian blowjob conspiracy?
We already talked about that the last time. We talked about it. It's over with. It's done with.
Did we expose the whole thing?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Much to my chagrin, I didn't really want to talk about
Go back and listen to that, folks. Episode 13.
Hey, we got other stuff to talk about. We got
Early on.
J-Lit coming up. We got after party. We got hotel. We got to plug. You guys
right.
got to plug some
Did
shit.
you book your suite yet?
I don't think the Hojo has suites, do they?
Yeah.
And I only live like 5 minutes from there, so I might roll the dice and
Don't you remember when
make
we
it
used to
home.
get Hojo rooms all the time?
Do they have suites?
Yeah, they
I
got
mean,
a
they were
penthouse.
under
They got a third floor.
They
Key
actually
card
have some construction going on. So
key
it's a little
card
bit
only.
nicer.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I might have to rock that out.
Jacuzzi.
No.
Who are you saying no to?
The gentleman sitting to my left, who hosted last week or co-hosted last week's podcast, who is known for a lot of just crazy things.
He ended that show on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As
He's
a
eaten
Duke
alive by all sorts of bacteria in the hot tub.
The official hotel for J-Lit weekend is the Howard Johnson Inn, the airport version there off of
Right
Brook
off
Park
of
Road.
Snow Road, I believe, right?
Yeah, off of Snow
Yeah.
Park area there. I think I said Brook Park Road.
It's-
Last week.
it's-
That's okay.
If the roof doesn't leak and the walls don't fall down, it's better than
As I
America's
said,
Best
they
Value.
They were
This
under
is the original
construction.
J-Lit.
I
This is the original
realize that.
J-Lit hotel.
Last year they started construction. There's still a little bit going on. They're opening up.
Bob
more
Evans in
rooms.
the parking lot.
Bob Evans right fucking there, which is the best thing ever. Because Bob Evans is the greatest restaurant ever. You should get them to sponsor you.
wish.
I would do fucking voiceovers for them all day. I love that fucking place.
Tell them that you are booking your
Why don't
hotel.
you just buy a Bob Evans franchise?
Yeah.
That's not a bad
Think about
idea.
all the waitresses you could sexually harass.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You can offer them raises for sexual favors.
Yeah. You can offer them raises
right.
for raises.
All the chicken and noodles soup that you could eat.
I'm a beef vegetable guy. I don't know.
Well, the
Duke likes them beefy.
The Howard Johnson, $55. We locked in that rate for you if you tell them that you are booking because you are in town for AIW. 2 nights of after parties. Night 1 at Nax Eatery and Drinkery.
Hopefully they'll be properly staffed.
Yeah. Night 2 we'll be back at Mahal's on Madison Avenue.
The Duke is looking for a designated driver that night.
I am?
I mean,
I usually just roll the dice, man. That's what I do. I'm a
your
gambler.
driving record isn't so much on the up and up.
That is something we can't talk about.
Allegedly,
yeah.
I'm trying to hook you up. I'm trying to get you a ride, maybe a lady.
I appreciate the offer, but we'll see. You know, I'm open to suggestions.
Ladies, don't worry. The Duke will.
I gotta get home and feed the cat. Get sensitive. I have a cat. I take care of animals. Philanthropist, sensitive, 6 figures. Check.
That's the Duke 1279.
Not a charming bone in your body, though.
I don't need a charming bone.
That's why he gets that heel heat.
That's right.
He's just trying to make an innuendo. Did you hear that?
Hashtag heel. How can I have a charming bone in my body?
The way he said it. Wow.
Ladies, coming to the after party, the Duke will be there to buy you drinks.
Maybe. I ran around the block too many times to fall for that scam.
All right. All right, that's fair.
Thank you, Steve.
What if they'll give you a ride home after those drinks?
Then we're in the negotiation phase.
Okay.
See, everything's a business deal to you. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's where you're going wrong with the girls.
That's what happens. No, everything's business. It's all business.
I think that's where you're going wrong.
No, I'm all business, man. I don't mess around.
I'm gonna let's make the Duke a Tinder profile for Jail Weekend.
No, let's not.
I think that's a great idea. And Bumble or just Tinder?
Just
what
Tinder.
about Plenty of Fish? Plenty of Fish for the Duke?
Are you on OkCupid?
Maybe. I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Remember when we spent that New Year's Eve where me, you, and Biggins had an eliminate with an OkCupid girl?
No, we have an eliminate. She met us. I was in the other room. I was in my own room.
It was an eliminate.
I was in my own room.
She went from room to room?
No. It was an eliminate. It was a group activity.
Oh, you were all there.
The 3 of us are like, let's go. We went to like the airport Sheraton. We hung out for New Year's Eve.
Had an OkCupid girl come.
And he had this girl came and met him, and she hung out with us.
It was an eliminate. It was up for grabs for everybody.
Sure.
Oh, I was not aware of this. I was just
you were aware.
I was not aware.
You were punched in.
The
Game Boy Advance was turned on.
I was not punched in. Ironically enough, you say that, and I'm sure I probably told you this story a long time ago. I had a friend who would always say that when we'd go out to bars. He's like, oh, you punching in? So this son of a bitch at work one day made a laminated Duke time clock that he hung on the bar, and as soon as I started talking to a girl, he would move the card over from out to in.
The Duke is always punched in.
Well, the Duke is always punched in. That's true. Because you never know. You never know what's going to happen. You always got to keep those feelers out there, figuratively speaking.
Yeah, you can't literally.
No, can't literally have your feelers out.
If somebody makes a sign for Jail at Weekend that says the Duke is punched in and it's a time card, will we give them something?
No.
I'll give them a kick in the teeth. That's what I'll give them.
Oh, all right. There you go.
Just everybody at Nax, keep your eyes peeled on the Duke. Let us know when he's on the clock.
If we get more Melt Bar and Grilled T-shirts or something to throw out to the crowd, I will give this to you since I'm in charge of giving those away. If you make the Duke is always punched in time clock sign,
you got to bring it to the after party though,
and it looks awesome. You need to bring it to Gauntlet and bring it to the after party.
Jaylet, not Gauntlet.
Sorry, to Jaylet. Bring it to Jaylet and bring it to the after party. You will get the Melt T-shirt. I'll give that to you. You get to be one of our
winners. It's a fair deal, I guess.
I think it's a great deal. I want to see creativity in this.
I've seen the Duke punched in for about the last 15 plus years.
We're gonna have Tinder, Plenty of Fish. He's already got allegedly, maybe not. OkCupid. What else is out there? That's about it.
Well, there's more, but
Cougar
yeah,
Love.
No.
Cougar Love. You go on Ashley Madison.
I have to cheat on somebody to do that.
I think there's women on there that want to cheat. I think
Adult Friend Finder.
Yeah. No, I'm not Monsoon Classic.
Shout out to Monsoon Classic. Kills it on there.
Well, I think that about wraps it up. We talked a little bit about House of the Rising Sun.
Talked a little bit about wrestling and then careened off into a ditch.
Listen, ladies, if you listen to this show, once again, is the Duke 1279 on the Twitter.
Let him know how charming I am.
Let him know how.
If you're gonna, all I ask if you tweet anything about me, put me in it because fucking Thorne never puts me in the fucking tweets he says. Because A, he's afraid I'll find out what he said, and B, he doesn't want me to get followers.
I'm afraid he's gonna find out.
He doesn't want me to get followers.
He doesn't want me to get followers.
I don't want him to get followers. I want him to get his own followers.
It's true. Okay.
Yeah.
You can follow John too. John Thorne AIW
John
on
Thorne.
Twitter. But
Just cracked 3800.
Thorne, don't forget.
What's that getting you?
Lots of ladies.
I thought we weren't allowed to talk about ladies on the podcast for you, or is that okay
I've been
now?
talking about ladies.
I don't know. Last time I was given a list of things that were off limits.
He had a live-in lady at that point.
Well,
That's why he wanted to keep that. Now he's an eligible man. We
swing and a miss.
I couldn't speak.
The word is eligible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for correcting me.
Got
another Biggins.
doing that reciprocity. That's all.
Yeah. I couldn't speak. What the hell was I saying? Oh, follow AI Wrestling on Twitter. There you go. The Steve Guys, me on Twitter.
Unfollow the Duke 1279.
Follow me and then unfollow me because there you go.
Follow him to tell him how charming John Thorne is, and then unfollow him after that, I guess.
I'm a likable guy.
Buy House of the Rising
You're
Sun.
an ass.
Buy House of the Rising Sun on Smart Mark Video. Check out Angelo's Pizza in Lakewood on Madison Avenue. Also, if you're in town for JLet weekend, visit Melt Bar and Grilled, one of our other partners. And, of course, thanks to Jack Prince, Thrift Store Jobber. Don't forget about them.
Sean
Jaundice at the Voodoo Monkey Tattoo. We got so many sponsors.
Don't forget to tweet AI Wrestling and John Thorne and tell them that this is the man to guest host. This is the man that deserves to be in the chair every week.
You know, I sent out a little spoiler. It said we're recording right now with the Duke, and I got a lot of. You really don't want anyone to listen to your podcast responses.
Yeah. Well, everyone's gonna listen to this because as much as they hate me, they want to hear what I got to say because they want to shit on whatever I say. Trust me, this one's gonna be through the roof, just like the last one.
Through the roof, he said.
Through the roof.
Wow.
And in this building, that's not safe.
Well,
why is there a treadmill in here?
Well,
do you even know what a treadmill is?
that's for Mr. Whiskers.
I got to keep my cardio up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Whiskers.
the cat. Absolutely, the cat runs on it.
I got to keep my cardio up.
You hang shirts on it. Yeah. Okay.
We use a shirt.
You got to put a shirt somewhere.
Yeah.
Put in the closet, you charmer.
Nothing in my closet.
Nothing in mine either.
No skeletons here.
No.
Well, I think that about wraps it up. Did we cover enough?
We're gonna have every week. You know, we're gonna be doing this, so we gotta save stuff. We gotta save stuff.
Week here, John Thorne.
He's never stops
sitting in
putting
with
stuff.
Thorne, if you know what's good for business. The Duke's good for business. If it involves a microphone, the Duke's good for business.
I feel like I know I laid out one challenge for JLit signs, but there's got to be like at least 10 signs that could be made off of this episode.
Bring it.
I don't know whether you come up with a Duke sign.
Everybody go facade on me. Bring your spray paint and your cardboard and write any kind of sign you want.
What about maybe the AIW poet will return one day?
Oh, that's scary. That dude.
We'll talk about him on a later
That
episode.
dude has got a hole in his basement with a chick in it. No way that's not true.
You would know.
Biggins loves those. We sat around Double Dare Weekend reading those off of Twitter. Folks, that's going to do it here for us. On behalf of AIW owner John Thorne, on behalf of The Duke, my name is Steve Guy. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week, everybody.
Thanks.
Oh, never again, Duke.
Hey there, everybody. It's Alex Worldwide Keller here to tell you all about Thrift Store Jobber on Instagram. The Thrift Store Jobber, I've done a job or two, and fucking motherfucking piece of shit, fucking cocksucker. That's a Rick Rude trick, by the way. All right.